and welcome to my kitchen. It's Thursday. I've got my apron on and I'm all fizzy and fabulously excited about this wonderful recipe. We're going to India today and we're delving into my latest cookbook, The More Cooking Fauna 2, and we're making this amazing recipe, beef korma. Now, normally very high in fat, wouldn't be on a weight loss program, that's for sure, but I'm going to show you how to do it the guilt-free way. It's a super easy recipe and I'm so excited to cook it for you today. Now don't forget, I picked the winners on Thursday and you will get the names go up in the comments in the Symplytoogood page. So stay tuned for later in the show. I'll tell you how you could possibly win this new More Cooking Fauna 2. All right, so what we need for this recipe is some very lean rump steak. Now, this is enough for 2 people or 2 serves. It freezes for about 2 or 3 weeks, so if there's just one of you, you could always put the other one in the freezer, but it's very lean rump. I'm going to tell you a little bit later the variations that go with that if you don't want to do the rump. We've got carrot. We need 2/3 of carrot sliced. I've got the ginger and the garlic. I've got the fantastic korma paste, the patex, the korma paste. That's what really gives it that authentic flavors. We've got red onion today, tomato, peas. I've got some of the low salt soy sauce, some cinnamon, coconut essence. I've got some Chobani Greek natural yogurt, so the plain yogurt to go in, some corn flour, sugar, and some baby spinach. Yes, it's going to be delicious. All right, so what I'm going to do first is, because you actually microwave the carrots first, because carrots take such a long time to cook, don't they? So I've got my little microwave. I'll just put a bit of water. There we go. And you want it sliced. Now don't do thick slices because it will be too chunky in the dish. Just nice slices. I don't peel my carrots either because I just wash them now because the skin's good. But we want just thin slices of carrot. So the veggies that go in this one are carrots, spinach, peas, tomato, and of course the red onion. So it's just something, if you're just sick of chops and veggies, I think you'll really love it. Let's have a look how we're going. 2/3 of a cup. Yep. All right, so let's put that in the water. Now I'm going to microwave this for 3 minutes on high. Oh, that's 4. Let's start again. All right, carrots done. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to chop up the tomato and the onion. Now we need 1/2 cup of each. We want diced fresh tomato and we want sliced onion. So just remember that. 1/2 cup of tomato, fresh tomato for this recipe. So prep everything up ahead because this just makes it so much quicker and easier when you're cooking. 1/2 cup. What do I do with my cup? Oh, here. 1/2 cup fresh tomato. Yep, I think we'll use this and it'll be perfect. Thanks for joining me today. I love giving you recipes that traditionally, as I said, I would not have this on a weight loss program. It just wouldn't fit. So I'm going to put the tomatoes back in there. Now the onion, I want to slice the red onion. Look, if you don't have the red onion, just use whatever you've got. So I'm going to cut that in half and then thin slices. And now I'm going to show you a trick in a minute that's really important and it really will help stop a disaster happening in the kitchen. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to kind of rush ahead with things and it can be the undoing of you sometimes when you've not checked your recipe. 1/2 cup of the red onion. All right. I've just got to then dice my meat. I'll just turn that over because I can. And we're dicing the meat now, so it's 250 grams of rump. So let's just cut that into strips. Now remember, this is enough for 2 people. If you wanted to make it for 4 or for 6, well, you just then double or triple the recipe. Look how beautiful and lean this meat is. Yum. All right, so I'm going to leave that there, put this in the soapy sink and fire up my wok. Because what we're going to do is we're going to seal the meat off first, and I'm going to use the rice bran spray on my Neoflam wok. I want to put in half a teaspoon of the crushed ginger. Now you know you can always use fresh, absolutely. I'm just a lazy cook and I find it easy. So half a teaspoon of ginger and 1 teaspoon of garlic. And then we just cook off the meat with those flavours. Oh yes, sizzle, sizzle, yumma, yumma, yumma. All right, let's toss that ginger and garlic together. I'll get rid of this and wash my hands. There we go. All the chopping's done now, so we're fabulous. Now, while this is just cooking off, I want to do something that I think will save the day if you're not careful. So with the korma paste, you need 2 tablespoons, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to do it in 2 different times of the cooking. So I'm going to, once this is cooked to my liking, I'm going to add in a tablespoon here and then add a tablespoon later. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just so I don't bugger it up, I'm going to do it this way. I've got my 2 little dishes. Going to put my tablespoon there. You know what? It just covers you from making any mistakes and you don't have to worry. In the sink. Right, so there, I can't have a problem now. All right, so I'm going to now put in 1 of those tablespoons and coat the meat with this beautiful korma paste. Just cook it off just for a little bit. Oh my gosh, the flavour. You have to try this if you love Indian food. If you don't like Indian food, I don't care. Cook it this week because it's so fabulous. All right. I'm now going to put it into the bowl. And I'm going to add this back in the end. And that way, what happens is that meat is going to be beautiful and tender and not stewed to death. Because that's what happens if you just leave it in there forever. Get all that sauce in there. All right, so now let's get the carrots out. I'll just quickly drain them. And add them to the pot. Don't need that anymore. Now in here also goes the onion and the peas. So that was half a cup of onion and a 1/4 cup of frozen peas. And we're just going to cook them off for just a little bit. Now, if you wanted to, you can make this in different ways. I've got 4 variations for you today. Now, making it with the rump steak, it's 11.4 grams of fat. So it's about 1/3 of the fat count of a traditional korma from an Indian takeaway. Now, chicken is 7.7, so you could do diced chicken breast. You also could do fish, make it a firm fish, a boneless firm fish, 6.5 grams of fat. And also for the veggies, you can do the tofu, and that's 13 grams of fat. And you just dice them all up. And do what I've done with the chicken, all of it. Cook it off, take it out, and then just fold it through at the end. All right. So that's looking great. So now what I'm going to add in is the tomato. That was half a cup. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of the soy sauce, and that's the low salt soy, of course. We're looking after your heart as well as your hips. 1, 2. Let's put in a teaspoon of sugar, and that will just soften the recipe just a little bit. We're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, which is a favourite in a lot of Indian cooking. Just a 1/4 teaspoon. Remember, because we're only making this for 2 people, remember, because it's out of more cooking. And what else have I got to go in? I think that's it for the moment. So let's just cook that off. Let's put the other korma in now. All right, so this is the other tablespoon. See, so I recommend you do this so you don't have any problems. All right. It's not a hard recipe, is it? It's just so delicious and so fabulous, and it's just a little different. And I think over winter we get sick of stews and things like that. Let's just go to India and have fun with it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put 3/4 teaspoon of corn flour into a 1/4 cup of water, and I'm just going to blend that up. Put that in. See, it's very quick when you're making this just for 2 people, for sure. I've also got now, either you do 1/3 of the Chobani yogurt, the Greek plain yogurt, or I do it as I think it's 85 grams. It says that in the recipe anyway. And now we're just going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of coconut essence in there. In it goes. I'm going to put the meat back in as well. Let's coat that. So it gives you that coconut flavour, but the tang from the sour cream is, not the sour cream, the yogurt is fantastic. The meat goes in, your protein goes in. Oh my gosh, we're nearly done. Flying through the recipe, people. Oh, yum. Last but not least, the final thing is the spinach. 30 grams of baby spinach. And basically just cook it off until it's wilted. And your dinner is done for another Thursday with Annette. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Just wilting off that spinach. And I have some rice to go with it. I mean, I think you could do, traditionally being an Indian dish, you would probably want to do rice, but I always do basmati because it's the lower GI, which I think is important. All right, so here we go. Let's serve it up. Now, it's enough for 2, remember. So basically, I'm looking here at just going down the middle. I mean, I love it with the peas and the carrot. Look at this. Oh, I mean, who knew? Weight loss could be so deliciously healthy. Doing it the Annette way, that's for sure. There is dinner done and dusted. My beef korma, remember you can make it with chicken, fish or tofu if you wish. And it's nice to do it for variety because I think it might become a family favourite. All right, so this is the recipe. Would you like to win the cookbook? Well, more cookie want to do, it's my favourite. Oh, did I say that out loud? I hope the others didn't hear. So all you have to do is like, share, and then in the comments, you've just got to write that. Hashtag Symply with a Y, too good. I mean, you must know it by now. Hashtag Symplytoogood, and I'll pick 3 fabulous winners to get a great copy. It's so fabulous to be able to sign them as well, and you can enjoy this recipe. Now, if you want to come back next week, I hope you do, because I'm really doing something that's a little bit sticky fabulous. We're doing a favourite, an old favourite from way back, and I've done it a low-fat way. Yes, I have. What is it? Well, it's in book 2 and Cooking for 102, and it's sticky date pudding. Oh yes, perfect dessert for winter. Now in book 2 it makes 10, but in the Cooking for 2 it makes 2. So this gives you that freedom depending on how many you're catering for. So don't miss it. If you want any more recipes or tips, you go to symplytoogood.com.au. And thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today. Korma, boom, done and dusted. See you next time. Bye.